Hi, I'm Mike. I'm one of the guitar teachers at Hogan Academy. I wanted to just talk to you, any of you viewers out there today, about my 3 golden rules for top tips, sorry, for chord changing. Playing chords, playing rhythm guitar is as much about how quickly you can change the chords with your left hand as it is whether you're playing like the right rhythm with your right. So the first thing is to make use of shortcuts that you can find between chords. So one of the most obvious shortcuts is going from an A minor to a C, because you only need to move one finger to do that. And there are quite a few open chords where you'll find that there are finger positions that are shared between the chords. So getting to know the chord shapes and getting to know where you can use those shortcuts is a really good tip to increase the kind of speed and fluidity of the changes. The next thing is visualization. So trying to think ahead of what you're doing. So if you're looking at a piece of music and you want to be kind of always a bar ahead of yourself. Theory behind that is that once your hand's in the chord shape, you don't need to think about it anymore. All you need to do is think about the strumming. And also what you need to be thinking about, what you should be thinking about, is how your hand's going to look in the next chord position. So for example, if I was doing something with G, and I was going to a D, so now I'll be thinking about D, and my hand looks like that in a D, because using that kind of visualization is, it's a really powerful thing. The third one, and often the hardest thing to achieve for a total beginner, is trying to convince your body that your right hand is the boss and not your left hand. When you're learning to strum chords and play rhythm, and you're learning to change chords, because the complicated work is happening on your left hand, your right hand will stop to allow for your left hand to do what it needs to do. So you might go, for example. That's the kind of typical thing. But you need to try and flip that around in your head. So your right hand is the boss, and that's the reason that right-handed people play guitar with the right hand doing the strumming, is because that's the lead hand. That's the one that needs to keep the rhythm going. So it's almost a case of flipping that preference around in your head. So your right hand just keeps strumming, just like an engine, just keeps going at the same pace. But then your left hand, it's your left hand's job to catch up with your right hand, rather than your right hand's job to slow down for your left hand. And this is completely counterintuitive for most people to start off with, and it can be a very difficult thing to get your head around. But that's what works, and that's what needs to happen when you're doing chord changes. Is that it's much more important to keep the rhythm going, to enable the kind of consistency and the cohesion of the song, whatever you're playing. It's much more important to achieve that than necessarily to achieve getting the chords exactly right every single time. Because what you can do is, even if you kind of fumble maybe the very first strum of the bar, you can make little adjustments to kind of get it right as you're doing it. So you might go, so maybe that first strum might not be where it needs to be. But the problem is, if you learn to play rhythm guitar and learn chord changes by strumming, then stopping to change, and then strumming again, and then stopping to change again, all you're really teaching yourself to do is to strum, stop, change, strum, stop, change. Whereas what you want to be doing is increasing the speed of the transition. And the way to do that is to make sure the right hand, or your left hand, if you're left-handed, obviously, but your right hand is the boss, and that's the one that's providing all the rhythm, and it just needs to keep on going. So 3 things: use the shortcuts that you find between chords, where you can keep your fingers on in between different chord shapes. Visualize the next chord ahead of you. So always try and be a bar ahead of what you're doing. And lastly, make sure that your right hand is the boss, your right hand's the leader. It's your left hand's job to catch up with your right hand. And that's it for now. Thank you.